Efforts are being made to identify a specific sporting discipline that can be called the national sport of the British Virgin Islands. The national sport or pastime or game is that which is considered to be an intrinsic or essential part of a nation's culture. Currently, there is no such named sport in the territory. As part of measures to stimulate a national conversation around the issue, with a view to arriving at a common agreement about which sport should be deemed intrinsic to the BVI's culture, Assistant Director of Sports at the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, Paul Hewlett, appeared on JTV's Spotlight recently. Hewlett says sports in the territory have gone through an evolutionary process over the last decades.
Sport here really in the 1940s was around cricket, as you know, and most of our parents and some grandparents played cricket. There were 7 actual cricket fields in the region. From then, in the early 1950s, somewhere from what my studies have taught me, is actually around 1950 itself, the sport of softball was brought to the British Virgin Islands, which we now know as the British Virgin Islands, which is really the Virgin Islands, from the USVI, was brought here, and it was big. It actually, individuals actually went onto the cricket grounds with these new bats and balls and began to encourage individuals to try it out. Well, it became so popular that by the 1960s, really, softball became the most played sport in the territory. And as the years have progressed in the 1970s, 80s, before the year 2000, softball was played more and more, and that older generation suddenly came to the realization that their children weren't playing cricket at all. In fact, didn't understand it. What we've now seen through that evolution is that there's been a similar development in basketball.
Yeah.
After 2000, there beyond, thanks to the likes of Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and these guys, and obviously cable television becoming prevalent and in everyone's household. Basketball has become very popular, and now many of the youngsters who are playing basketball have never played softball. And when you tell them about softball, they say, no, I want to play basketball. So there's been an evolution through time, and what we really want to ensure that we're not losing history, because history is very important, and we want to get the assistance of the general public to formalize what is our national sport and where we're going to move forward from where we are today.
You may be asking yourself which of the various sports played in the territory today would best represent the local culture. To stir the national debate even further on the subject, JTV News went on Main Street, where we asked people, selected at random, what they think the national sport of the BVI should be. Just in case you're wondering, roller skating was not mentioned.
But I believe they would choose softball, because I see them playing softball mostly.
When there's a big track and field event, there's also quite a few people on the track and field stands. Even if it's not really big, it's just people from here. Track and field always has people to support, and basketball, so I would assume it will be one of those.
I think football should be the national sport. It's got a very well-run organisation. It's been doing very well. It's got a lot of big following in the BVI. And following on from football, I would suggest cricket, which has also been becoming very popular in the BVI.
I can go with softball, because softball has been around in the BVI for a while. And we have both male and females actively playing softball. So I would say softball.
The government put a lot of money into basketball. With the arena, $10 million, and they have not really built on it. If you're going to put that kind of money into a sport arena, then you have to make sure you make it work. It don't have any female basketball team in Tatola. Even though they have this big tournament coming up, they have men and ladies, but they have no women basketball team in Tatola to represent the country. So if you're going to put a lot of money into that sport, then you have to make sure you work for the country.
Based on what I have seen, a lot of the younger generation now is more leaning onto the basketball thing, and I mean, I've seen where it has drawn or it has bring a lot of youths together, and it's a positive movement.
Basketball. We live on an island. We're surrounded by water. We see it every day. It only seems logical that swimming should be the national sport.
Well, we do support a lot in basketball, track. I think that could work, actually. But being in the Caribbean, I think cricket would work really nice too.
As you can already see, there are mixed support for the various sports, so that discussion may have to go further, using various channels before the BVI's national sport can be named.